Welcome back to another video, guys. This one is a dive video. This was again on the Minke trip. I just got a whole bunch of footage on that trip and still milking it for content. But this one, it just holds a little special place in my heart just because at these dive sites I saw fish like I just have never seen it before. I mean thousands of fish. Every little speck that you're looking at right now is a fish. And just when you think about the Great Barrier Reef, that's what, like, it truly lived up to its name, and just how much fish there was and how much gorgeous fish there was. Like, all of these antheas, probably one of my favorite fish. I wish I could go on about those guys, but I didn't get a whole lot of footage just because I saw so much other cool stuff. So I hope you guys enjoy this video. I have a lot of cool invertebrates on this one, but we also get down to solving last video's mystery, and like you might remember, I thought it was a sea cucumber, and I was actually right on that one. My girlfriend Mariel, she actually figured it out. She's a genius, and when it comes to identifying things, she's actually very good. So that alien at the end of last video is a sticky snake sea cucumber, or Uapta. Butchered that name, but now we can finally put to rest that is an identifiable animal and actually not an alien. And then next up, I saw these little Lampert sea cucumbers absolutely everywhere on this dive. I mean, every fan and sponge you could see on this dive site was covered in these Lampert's sea cucumbers. There's also a couple feather stars on this fan here, but scientific name for the Lampert sea cucumber is Synaptula lamperti, and these guys, they'll stay to about the size that you're seeing. They eat diatoms, which, if you didn't know, they're unicellular organisms that can only be seen on pretty much a microscope. And they'll also eat things that land on the host sponge, like ocean snow. And then next up, I found another pipefish. This one actually was not a brown banded, though. That's kind of been the only one that we've seen on this channel. This guy right here is actually a Schultz pipefish. Yeah, I know, right? I wonder what guy named this fish. But Schultz pipefish, or Corythoichthys schultzi. Very, very gorgeous pipefish. First time that I was seeing one of this species, and just an absolute treat. Next up, pretty much if you can think of it, then there's probably a fish version of it. So this is a spotted unicorn fish, or Naso brevirostris. They are a type of surgeonfish, so they have that scapula on their caudal peduncle, which is right at the base of their tail. And I've seen them into about a school of 100. Like, these guys can school, and they're just very, very gorgeous fish. And then I have a pretty big treat for you guys, but I wish it came out of its hole. We have our first octopus on the channel. Now, I barely saw this dude when I was swimming by. I just saw something moving in the crack. Decided to go check it out. I didn't even know what it was for the first minute of filming, actually, just because it took me a while to understand what I was actually looking at. But if you guys are looking at this picture right now, if you look in that little hole, that black little line in the top right of the hole is actually its eye. You'll be able to see its tentacle kind of poking out earlier, and I'm not gonna lie, he did not look too hot. He or she did not look too great. He was very, very pale, and usually that means that, unfortunately, their life cycle is coming to an end. Octopus have very short lifespans, actually. Pretty much when they give birth to all of their children, that's pretty much when they die. And just because it takes so much, they pretty much starve themselves because they're looking after their young. and yeah, he just wasn't looking too good. But still a very, very, very cool find. But yeah, unfortunate that he didn't look too hot. Yeah, they only lived to about a year, so pretty sad, but octopus are amazing animals and they make up for their short lifespan in pretty much every which way. And then I know you guys might be getting tired of flatworms, but I am not. So this is a new one that I haven't found before. This is a Halloween flatworm, or Pseudobiceros gloriosus, and this guy was really pretty. He was pretty much a little bit bigger than like my index finger, even my middle finger. I would say he was maybe the size of half of my hand. This guy was a big flatworm, and I finally, if you've been watching the other videos, every time that I find a flatworm, I'm like, please let me get some free swimming footage. And I actually got some this time. I just finished filming that first little clip, and then I turn around and like 2 seconds later, sure enough, I see it swimming onto another rock, and it was just the biggest joy to see. I love seeing them free swim, and they're amazing creatures. Then next up, we have a pretty rare find. At least I have never seen one of these guys before, but this was a leaf scorpionfish, or Taeniatus triacanthus. Now, the glow stick right there that you're seeing is to make it more visible to other divers, and we would do this. We don't do this on normal trips. They just do it on specific dive sites on the minke trips, and obviously we go and pick them up, but it just makes them a little bit easier to find for other divers just because they're so well camouflaged, and they're also not going to move. So we did 2 dives here, and when I came back on the second time, this dude was still here actually. So just a very cool find and interesting little method that we do to find all the scorpionfish that were here. And then next up, something that at least I have definitely never seen before. I didn't even know these things existed, but this is an electric fire clam, or Ctenoides ales, and you can see like little blue lightning right inside of its mouth. This was about a meter into this little cave, and my boy Satoshi let me borrow a light so I could just check this thing out and get some good footage of it. But the glowing is actually not bioluminescence. When I was doing my research, I thought this was very, very interesting. So their flesh actually glows permanently like that, and it's used a lot more intensely, like flashing a lot more when warding off predators, because their tentacles and on their mantle is covered and filled with sulfur. So it's kind of like a warning mechanism, but then when if a predator's brave enough to come and grab it, then they're gonna get a mouthful of sulfur, which I assure you probably doesn't taste too good. And then finally, guys, this is the most gorgeous nudibranch I will have ever seen, and probably will for a long, long time. This is a golden spotted nudibranch, or Halgerta artianata cuculata. Wow, that's a mouthful, but still just gorgeous nudibranch. I was so happy when I found this thing. I just started screaming through my regulator. If they could move any faster, this dude would have scampered off, but nudibranchs aren't going anywhere in a hurry. And that guy was pretty much as big as my thumb. And so I got some pretty decent pics. He was at a very awkward angle, and there was a good amount of current on this dive site actually. So I was just trying to stay still, but still an absolute joy to see, and I still think about that nudibranch to this very day. And that's pretty much going to wrap it up for today, guys. Thank you guys so much for watching. Go ahead and like, comment, and subscribe. If you guys are liking these dive videos, it lets me know if you guys are enjoying this content and want to see more. So thank you again so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.